Gary Kurtz is the producer of both Star Wars and its sequel, The Empire Strikes Back.
I think even the simplest John Wayne Western has that element, the basic morality of the characters and how they make their decisions, as well as being escapist entertainment in the sense that it takes us away from our own problems. It also offers us some clues as to how to solve some of those problems.
Now, the Western has a very firm morality that's very easily identifiable, and the good guys are very obvious and the bad guys. Does Star Wars and Empire have the same clear morality?
I think so, yes. I think that one of the important things about a myth or a fairy tale is that the elements are clearly defined. They can be subtle in some ways, but it's important to the telling of the story that it's obvious from the very beginning which characters represent which types.
After Star Wars, the phrase, "May the Force be with you," became a very widespread catchphrase, didn't it? The feeling was that it was rather equivalent to luck or even God. And yet in Empire, there seems to be an additional subtlety. The Force isn't as unequivocally good. Is this a change?
The Force basically is a representation of a larger power that's represented in almost every major religion. And it has, as in the Oriental religions, both a positive and a negative side, and that it depends on how you approach it and use it. Even in the parables in the Bible, it implies the same thing, that depends on just how you use it, whether it's a positive force or a negative force. In Star Wars, we tried to symbolize this philosophy and power in such a way that made it simple enough to deal with in the context of the adventure, and yet feel as if it were a realistic situation within the context of the fairy tale.
And in making these stories, do you have any sort of personal missionary effort, or is it simply a matter of making money?
Well, I think it's a combination of both. I think that I've always felt that the entertainment side of film also, to be of any value at all, has to have some kind of positive statement to make. But it must be internalized in the characters. It doesn't really do much good to over-intellectualize the concepts, because if they're just there on the surface, you just turn off the audience completely. They don't accept anything.